Doctors/nurses, what was the most how the are you not dead patient you dealt with?
Case number 2, my best case ever. A young woman, in her 30s, had a stroke. She clotted off the basilar artery, the big artery in the base of the brain that supplies all of the primitive functions, like breathing and awareness. I found out about her a day after the event. This, by the book, is a hopeless case. She was literally already dead. But, because she was young, they prevailed upon me to do something. I poked a catheter, a long skinny plastic tube, into her groin artery, then snaked it up to the blocked artery in the base of her brain. I infused a clot-busting drug into the artery for about 12 hours, but I rechecked, and the clot was gone. She woke up the next day. After a month, she literally walked out of the hospital. She sent me a nice card a month or so later. It bothered me that her handwriting was better than mine, even after her stroke, but I was pretty happy.
During my rotation, Guy had a road accident, flesh wounds as deep as his intestines were out, around 40% of his face was scraped off, one eye was out of the socket, the right forearm had ripped off muscles and you could see the bone. Now the miracle is that the bleeding somehow had stopped, and when I came in, I saw his chest moving and him holding his intestines. I was like, yeah, wow, this guy is alive. We helped him, stitched everything back, the face was reconstructed, and now he is alive and well.
We had a patient come in after mowing the lawn. Patient said something was kicked up by the lawnmower and hit him in the head. Didn't think much of it, finished cutting the grass. Still had a headache a few hours later, so came to the ER. We CAT scanned his head and there is an entire nail embedded in his brain. He had the tiniest abrasion to his forehead and no neurodeficits. He had no idea.
We had a guy who'd lovingly crafted his own gladius sword and thrown himself on it, piercing the sternum and his heart, but he was alive and conscious, and every time his heart beat the handle of the sword vibrated.
There was a guy I looked after who'd thrown himself in front of a train in a suicide attempt. The train pretty much cut him in half. It was bad and he was not happy to have survived. I'm still not clear how he did.
I used to work in obstetrics and the preemie ward. I've seen some extremely premature babies that looked like they were barely hanging on. Tiny head, maybe 2 inches from chin to top of the cranium, purplish/reddish translucent skin that looks paper thin, eyes closed, not responsive, limbs smaller than a finger, and always extremely skinny. They often face lifelong problems due to being born so premature. I remember once asking the doctor why we even bother at that stage, since it looks so hopeless, and in some cases, is, frankly. She said, and I remember very well the preemies that were hopeless cases 20 years ago now live normal lives, so that is why we keep on pushing.